I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, motion been made by Gal. Is there a second motion?
Second.
Second by Ellenhoff. Roll call. Gal.
Aye.
Ellenhoff.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Kaufman.
Aye.
Gerber aye. Minutes. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? There are none. May I have approval of?
So moved.
Okay, motion been made by Ellenhoff. Is there a second motion?
Second.
Second by Bell. Roll call. Ellenhoff.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Gal.
Aye.
Kaufman.
Aye.
Gerber aye. Payroll. Since we're not going to be meeting on Thursday, there is payroll.
She's going to bring that over
Okay.
when she has the report. She's
You
working
want to
on
wait
it.
first on it, or?
But you have claims on them. They should be
Pretty
going
cut
on.
and dry. Move to approve payroll and claims.
Payroll and claims?
Yes.
Okay, motion been made by Ellerhoff. Is there a second motion?
Second.
Second by Kaufman. Any discussion? Roll call. Elder.
Aye.
Kaufman.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Gal.
Aye.
And Gerber aye.
Cindy, did you say?
Downward Drainage
I
District,
did.
we'll go into that next, later on. Secondary road, up to Rob. Compensation Board's recommendation for the salaries of elected officials is carried in.
Mm-hmm.
I think she wanted to talk about that too.
About the memo or the recommendation? Just have it from the board would like to talk to you about, they're talking about the compensation board's recommendation for elected officials and the memo that's going out. All right. We'll be right over.
Okay. Glenn, you know the bid's at 10 o'clock?
Is it 10?
Yeah.
Then why did Bob tell me to be here at 8:30?
Bob is going to be here.
Because he was going to be here.
I thought he was going to be here at 8:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there probably won't be much going on until 10 o'clock for Sandwich Drainage District.
I appreciate you telling me that.
Okay. Sorry about that, Glenn.
Hey, no problem.
Go have a cup of coffee first and go to the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't know that the bid was going to be at 10.
Well, I think Bob was going to talk to you before 10 about that proposal. That's maybe why he wanted him here.
Oh, and
Yeah, the proposal they
bankers.
sent you guys. But
Morning, Carrie. Morning.
Okay.
Morning.
We're down to discussion and action regarding compensation board's recommendation for the fiscal 15-16 salaries of elected officials.
Okay.
You want us to take and put out what we feel on that so you can send it out in a memo?
Yeah.
Okay, is there any discussion on it? And the recommendation from the account board was 5% for everybody?
Yep.
At the same time, we can freeze the wages of the, you do whatever you want with the supervisor's salary, but all the rest of them have to be, if you cut them, you have to cut them all the same, or you have to leave them all the same. Does everybody have a recommendation?
I don't think we have enough information in the budget to make that determination.
Well, I think we need to have it so that Carrie can get it set up for them, send a memo out to everybody.
I thought we'd already discussed that.
We discussed 2.5%.
For budgeting purposes, that's what we...
But 2.5% for
Elected officials.
Elected officials,
Mhm.
okay. And then everybody else we're using the comp study.
Right,
Okay.
that's what was that was what we decided.
I guess I didn't understand it that way because I voted for it, but I didn't understand it that way.
Well, you don't have to make a formal decision on this yet.
Exactly.
But you could have them use the 5% figure so you see the impact on the budget. It can always be reduced, just like it can be raised.
I feel we ought to stick with the 5% and then freeze our wages. That'd be my recommendation.
What do you, Gary, what works best, to figure high and then back off if we need to at the budget numbers, or figure low and add to it, depending on the budget numbers?
Well, personally, it always feels like you guys, the board has put the same 2.5% in there. And then, of course, it doesn't always look good, but it seems as though now everybody's got their salaries where they're compensated correctly. And you had another recommendation of 5%, so I guess I don't understand why we're not using that 5% to see how bad is it really going to look. Mm-hmm. It seems as though the elected officials always get the short hand if money's short. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, it's easier to cut it than it is to raise his budget.
Well, and that's the biggest thing on this memo is we've changed how we're doing it, so why don't we, and I know the salary-wise for elected officials is not set. For the compensated study, they are, so that's why this memo that came out did not state that at all. You were saying use 2.5%.
Well, that was
when
not
we
what
have,
we decided in here that day, but
well,
I don't know how it got messed up.
But yeah, so we have actual figures for this, so to me it's like this would be the first time ever since I've been doing the budgets that we have real numbers in there for once to actually see how it looks.
Well, I think for budgeting purposes, you use the 5%, you use this comp study, and the board, after the first of the year, can make a formal decision, and after you see the budgets, you know, once they're put together and see the numbers, they can make a formal decision on comp board recommendation, or you can do it now if that's what Brad wants to do, but at least, you know, we're talking for budgeting purposes at this point.
Right.
So for me, it'd be use the 5%, use the comp study plan with the established rates for everybody, and
Do you want to
there
make
will
that a
be
motion?
minimal changes then. Yes. I make that motion.
You want to state your motion?
Yeah. I move that we utilize the 5%, this is for budgeting purposes only, for the purpose of our memo that's going out to all the department heads. We'll use 5% for the elected officials, and we will use the wages established per the comp study for all employees.
And you said 5% for department heads?
Yes.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
For elected officials, not department heads.
Let's do it for department heads as well.
But we have that already in your
That's in the
compensated
comp
study.
study.
That's true.
So their salary's been set. And what we've done is we've done your payroll spreadsheet that tells, we give it to the board every year, what hourly wages everybody is. We've already plugged that in, and we'd like to give that to the department heads for them for their accurate figures then.
So it's what I originally said, it's elected officials, and then everybody else is following the comp plan, comp study plan.
Does union have their own, this is non-union?
Yeah.
Non-union?
Right. We can't impact the
Okay,
union.
you want to state that motion then?
Yeah, good luck
Bev?
with that, Bev.
Okay. For budgeting purposes only, utilize 5% for the elected official salary. I'll put 15, 16 salaries.
Yeah.
And wages, the wages of non-union employees. No, and the wages established for the comp study to be used for other non-union employees.
Right.
Okay, the motion's been made. Is there a second to that motion?
So we're using the comp.
Comp studies.
The comp study for the non-department heads and elected officials and the recommendations of the compensation committee for the.
Would
No.
you just, no?
No.
I don't think so. Elected officials, 5%. Everybody else that falls in the comp study, which would be department heads, non-elected
Yep.
department heads, maybe you said that, and all other hourly staff that are not union.
Yeah.
That's who we'd be using that for.
Okay, I got it.
Because we can't, even though a lot of the union people are included in that comp study, we can't affect those
Yeah,
Got it.
contracts.
Okay, the motion's been made by Ellenhoff. Is there a second that motion?
Yeah, second that.
Okay, second by Kaufman. Any discussion? Roll call. Ellenhoff.
Aye.
Kaufman.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Down.
Aye.
And Gilbert, aye. So, you can send that on the memo.
So I'll change this on the memo here.
Right. And you said something about health insurance, Carrie, on that?
Phil's
You put in
coming in.
2%, but should we,
I guess
or should we wait, talk to Phil?
I would wait till Phil comes with all his
Okay.
Yeah.
stuff.
And then
So
we can-
basically
Unless
put
we're gonna have him revise it again if something
No.
changes.
No.
on this memo for the salaries, then I can put basically what's in the motion on there for now.
Well, and you're going to provide a spreadsheet, Carrie, you just
Yes.
said you worked up, so
Yes.
that needs to go with,
Okay. I'll work with Terry on it.
yes.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what goes.
Okay, that'll take care of the memo then, Carrie?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Bob, I told Glenn that we probably would be discussing the Statewide Drainage District till 10 o'clock, and he was here, so he left.
Okay, I can leave.
No, you don't have to, you can stay, don't get me wrong.
I actually have a couple things I could do, so.
Okay.
All right.
But the Statewide Drainage District is coming up at 10 o'clock
10
for the
o'clock,
bids.
all right.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
You bet.
Okay, Carrie, you had something on the local option sales and service tax?
Yeah, I just wanna, update the board, a little friendly reminder that your local option sales and service tax that is currently in place will expire June 30th of 2016. I know that seems quite a ways out, but it really isn't. So, next year, I'm gonna throw a couple different scenarios at you. You have time to think about it, but, the thing about it is with your local option tax, there's a timeline, there's a 84 minimum time frame to actually start this whole process, okay? And now with elections, there's only certain times of the year that we can have special county elections, okay? So looking at it, your first one is in November, we have the city elections. We can actually have a special county one on the same day, okay? So all your polling places, we're gonna have workers there anyway, and then we're just gonna have a different ballot style for the unincorporated areas. Where the cities, along with this, theirs is due too. Theirs will be expiring June 30th of 2016. I've already had a couple city clerks inquiring about it. So, they'll definitely have that on their ballot in November unless the board would want to hold a special election earlier next year. Okay? And I think, major reason, of course, is if it fails, time enough to be able to do it again, to start it all over.
If we have a special election, though, then we have to have it for the cities then also then, right?
Yeah, I would do all the extra legwork and get everybody to correlate on that same day.
Financially wise, it'd be best to wait till November to do it, wouldn't it?
It would.
And then if it fails and we want to do it again, then would you have the 84 days?
We could hold another one on March 1st of 2016.
Okay.
And then if it passes in, we wouldn't have any lag. We would just continue on.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, what do you recommend, Carrie?
For budgeting wise, the cities, yeah, they wouldn't be paying any extra for a special election. And just like the county, we're gonna have to pay our portion of the ballots and stuff, and the city will pay for theirs, but, yeah. I wanted to get your input and see, because if you wanted it earlier next year, I need to start working on it already with the city clerks. Because they're gonna have to figure out their ballot language, just like the board's gonna have to.
I was gonna say, we gotta figure out what it goes towards and everything.
Yeah. And now they implemented it too, you do not have to have a sunset date if you do not. And that's what the Department of Revenue is saying now. Once you pass it, keep it there, and then all you have to do is do a change of use.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, and I was thinking about like secondary road fund like they did with the jail, because that was paid off with a 1 cent sales tax, right?
yeah,
The jail was.
that
and
was paid off way
in
early.
Way early.
Because we were using that money, correct me if I'm wrong, Betty, because you were the auditor then, to pay the bonds, and it was generating enough money that we were actually able to,
Yeah,
we had to,
And
we had to
part of the
repeal.
big thing was all the housing of prisoners. We had a huge dollar amount coming
Yeah.
in from that as well, but yes, you're right.
Which we still have money in that fund
Yeah.
to this day that can only be used for that law enforcement center maintenance. So,
But as far as what we allocate, or what we allocated after that fact,
mhm. Yeah, because we had another election. It was in 2005 then, because this went in effect January 17th of 2006. And each one of the cities had theirs. Ours is something with property tax relief. And I will get that. Unincorporated areas of Cedar County, 50% for property tax relief to the Cedar County Rural Services Fund. The specific purposes for which the revenues will otherwise be expended are 50% of the revenue shall be allocated up to but not exceeding an amount equal to the 16 cents per $1,000 of assessed value of all taxable property in the county shall be allocated and paid to the Cedar County Secondary Road Fund as a replacement for the general fund transfer to the secondary road. So before this ever happened, it was a general fund that did the transfer. Now it's coming from rural services for the transfer, and this is helping it, the local sales and service tax.
so half of it comes to him, and then the other half stays in for property tax relief.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Back when you had the 1 cent sales tax for the jail, did ever used all of it for the jail?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it was for all the bonds
county-
and,
all
yeah.
counties
and cities.
We did.
Yeah. And
It
see,
was a
once that was
miracle,
paid
but
for,
it-
then each city was able to do majority of them, except, well, no, I guess it's not even majority, did property tax release, but they didn't. They did for streets, sewers, things like that, so. But yeah, so I'm just trying to think ahead so we're not caught off guard on this, because it is huge, it's very important, and just like the cities, they, you know, a couple city clerks already have been inquiring about it, so I
Do you have
kind of.
an estimated cost, Carrie, of the election? Whether if we did a special for everybody early as opposed to waiting until November, probably basically the same cost, but.
Yeah, you're just gonna, the cities are gonna have to figure double the amount.
Right.
Because we're gonna have one earlier in the year, and then
And they
plus we're gonna
have
have
their
their
city.
city election.
So what's the city election costing now?
I think right around $2,000, $2,500 for that. So,
It's
but the
something to
flip
think
side
of.
is, you know, and this is, I've been toying with, the flip side is, it gives them enough time to put it on another ballot, so, I don't, yeah, it's,
We don't have to make a decision today on that, though.
no, just
No.
something to think about, because if you want it like, a special election date of May 5th, it looks like in February already, I've gotta have the motions definitely, yeah. Ballot information to the auditor has to be by February 27th, so really next month I'm gonna have to start working with them, because they only meet once a month, I think, their councils. And that's laying a lot on them right away, not unless they have a good idea what they're gonna want their ballot language to be.
And my feeling is I'd like to know more of what, you know, if we take 50% of it for the secondary road building, you know, what would that amount to? How much would that be, you know? And them are some figures I'd like to see first.
Well, I think regardless,
I don't know how much it brings in, that 1 cent sales tax for the whole county and cities and everything.
we receive a sheet from Department of Management on that, between the treasurer and myself, so. But yeah, but just something to think about. I mean, if we're gonna wait till November, that gives me plenty of time to, I'll already put an email out though, so the city clerks know, you know, make sure you have your ballot language by this date for me, and we'll put it on the city election ballot, and then the county will piggyback with it. But I wanted to throw
We still
it.
do have one more option though into the.
Of the March 1st, 2016.
Right. So.
It would definitely save, I'm gonna say a majority of them, they pass, they usually do.
Yeah.
The city that struggles the most is the one that already did it, West Branch.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Well, it depends on what they say they're gonna use the money for.
Right.
Right, yeah. So, but just, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I just wanna bring it to your attention already.
And when you say the new one, if there will not be a sunset clause on it then, huh?
You can.
You
You can
can,
choose
But it-
that.
you know, and talking to Joel Gabrielson, you know, he has said he has seen now more of the cities and counties not having a sunset, because it's less you have to do and try to remember every 10 years or whenever your sunset is to do it. You just do your change of use instead.
So then if you wanna stop it, you just
You repeal the whole
repeal
thing.
the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just something more to think about over your holidays.
Put it at the top
Yeah,
of
Merry
your
Christmas.
things
I
to
feel
do.
better since I told you, so. Yeah. I don't know. You can go either way. It'd be
Here
nice
comes-
to wait till November.
Here
It gives
comes-
everyone plenty of time to figure out their ballot language, inform the voters. It's not another tax.
Too big of a rush.
That's the biggest thing, is we just gotta take the time and make sure, you know, the press gets it out there saying it's not additional tax. You're already paying for this, you know, we just wanna use it for something else, so. Where if we try to do it and start the process in a couple months, I don't think it's gonna allow people enough time.
Mhm.
And we don't wanna shoot ourselves in the foot, so. Along with that then, another food for thought is, go ahead and put, if you're gonna have the local option, go ahead and have that bond issue about the secondary road building again too. If you're gonna have a countywide special election, there's your time, you're already paying for it. So, that's up to you. I just wanna throw it out to you, so.
You're gonna be in here for the north too?
Yeah.
Okay, also you're gonna be in there at 10 o'clock for the Stanley Drainage District?
I can, babe.
Cause I got some questions on that, you know, on how the banks are laying that out for the warrants, you know, it's, cause they want all the warrant, but do we issue the warrants, do they get the warrant and then give you the cash and you pay out all the checks? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure
So
what the
I'd like
banks
to
are
get some
thinking for
clarification on that one, you know, when Hudson and Edwin are both in here, so.
Okay,
If you could be around there at 10 too, I'd appreciate it, Carrie.
okay. Nope, I can do that.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you. Okay, there's a memo that Julie sent up here too. She said, please be advised that Trevor Conrad will be returning to enter data information for Cedar County Case Management. He will be working in the department from December 29th, 2014 through January 12th, 2015. When he will have completed his position with the office, he will continue at the rate set in November 2014 at $10 per hour. There are no benefits for this position. Thank you. So, everyone wants to see that. And then under, for Rob, sent the thing, step wage increase for Corey Bierman, complete another 6 months of employment with my department effective January 2nd, 2015. As per union contract, he will be eligible for a step wage increase to $19.56, which is 95% of a crew leader position, $20.59. I recommend approval for the pay rate change as per union contract.
Move to approve.
Okay, motion been made by Bell. Is there a second on motion?
Second.
Second by Bell. Roll call. Bell.
Aye.
Gal.
Aye.
Kaufman.
Aye.
Farrell.
Aye.
Gilbert, aye.
This is for Corey, that
Yes.
that was on the agenda then. Okay.
Okay, Phil's coming in at 9 o'clock, huh?
I heard the weather wasn't too good up that one.
Any committee reports? Ready?
Yeah.
Brad?
We've got some notes in the consortium I'll pass around instead of reading them. I had an IRIS call last Wednesday. Laser leak project. This was approved, the emergency response plan. They never received an abstract when they bought that project. They are working on an abstract. and that system is working really good. Fairview project, Jason Gideon is a property owner, homeowner. He wants to put up a building with a restroom in it, wants to know about hookups. They think he's probably gonna need a grinder pump for that, and if he does, if it goes that way, he'll pay for that. They're having a lot of problems with the lift station. They've got poor quality grinder pumps. And they need to get.
Every time you say grinder pump.
And they need to buy better quality grinder pumps. Center Junction project. They just have some small maintenance issues. Otherwise, it's working pretty good. Andover project, everything is really good there. The Dressler subdivision, Spruce Creek Park, not much to report on. Things are working okay. Petersburg project, there's issues on the wastewater discharges. Here's a letter that's going around, that went around to them. It sounds like Delaware County may have to come up with the funds to fix this problem. They talked a lot about that. They're going to check into that. And Elvira, nothing. Morley, nothing. Lake Delhi, everything's going really good and favorable, and they're still under budget, which is incredible. And they're having a retirement party for Jill Davison. I didn't catch the date. Sometime this month in DeWitt. And that's it.
Well, how's that gonna work up there at Center Junction if they unincorporate up there? I see they're gonna vote to unincorporate down at Jones County. I'll take that all over, huh?
Yeah, they didn't bring that up.
John?
Nothing.
Jeff?
No, nothing. We're gonna have a solid waste pre-meeting for our big meeting that we'll have in January, right after the Christmas. Or executive meeting in anticipation for the big meeting.
Okay.
On Trevor Conrad, should I just note that in the minutes that he's continuing?
Because we approved it back in November.
She's doing a great job.
Oh, and do you want, that's right, I forgot. Do you want Gaborski and Bobby to come in next Tuesday?
Gotta give us an update of what.
That would be the last, or do you wanna wait for that, or?
What we got on schedule for Tuesday?
On the 30th, Tim Lott's coming in to talk about a new GIS position. Not a GIS, 911.
What time is he coming in?
8:45.
8:45?
And then, that's all you have. Okay.
So what, 9:30?
Sure.
I'll ask.
Yeah.
And you let me know then for sure?
Actually, I'll text Rob Gaborski right now and see if he's available. Yeah.
And how much time do you think?
We usually get a half hour.
Total?
We have been.
And we should, if they're coming in, we should send a memo out to the department heads too, but like Julie, I'm sure would like to talk to him, and Jane would like to talk to him on public health, and I'm sure Rob would like to talk to him on gas tax increase. And
That's a good idea.
I should know by the.
if they can come in.
Yeah.
$9:30 we said?
Yeah. But 9:30.
Let's see, Tim's coming in at 8:45. 9:30?
Yeah.
I put 9:15.
Maybe 10-45 minutes. So I know
I
I'm
like
here the other
I
night.
like doing it that way. It's nice to see
I
that.
suppose if I told you I'd type that up, you wouldn't believe that.
Right I wouldn't believe
She,
you.
and she thinks.
Yeah, I know. Good. Good, good, good.
Yeah, really nice job.
Both the new staff down there have just been doing a lot of good things.
Get all the budget stuff for the kitchen.
All the what? Budget's done? First draft, and they've been reviewed with everybody once, so we'll do formal things in January.
How soon they gotta be certified?
Same as county, it's the same.
March 15th.
Do you care if I take this stuff
Yeah.
over?
No, go ahead.
Then I got called by Scott County. They want me to come over and spend a day helping them do their budget. Like, oh,
Didn't I give them to you? Oh,
I think I do that in January.
The ones you just approved?
I'm not,
They were gonna
they're
approve
not
them
my
Thursday
county.
night. Oh, you, I think you have.
They're willing to pay for me to
They're
come
from the
over for a day,
16th, they
so
were.
Yes,
Take their money.
I can help them for a day. So that's kind of interesting. I was already over there one day and on other, helped him with some payroll things and different things like that, and then that's when we started talking about budget stuff, and this director's been there all these years and she has no clue about certain things, and I'm like, so anyway, so she asked Annette Shipley if I could come over for a day.
Whose funeral are you going to?
Charlie Feinmeyer's wife.
Really?
Yeah, had a brain aneurysm.
How old was she?
Only 80. I mean, not old enough really, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's going to be a mess. I feel sorry. I don't know.
When did that happen?
2 days ago. She was just she deserves like 20 medals. That lady
Yeah.
She's something else.
Those symptoms would just happen. Huh?
Yeah, she just happened and it's done. Charlie and my dad are cousins.
Jill had actually one time they came and got something. Nice to talk to. Paid for it and he left it. Forgot it.
Shoot.
Tried to, or I guess you called it and next thing he got it.
Yeah, he's got Charlie, I think has
Here's the
three-
payroll report that
3 Purple
was
Hearts
emailed that
from
everybody
Korea.
needs to sign.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of people don't realize that.
Wow.
Sorry, John. Obstacle course.
That's all right. Don't need this anymore.
Oh, John, congratulations on Austin getting done with school, huh?
Yeah, it's not me, it's him.
I know, but that's still, as a parent, it's still our, I think we still deserve something. We help him get through it.
Yeah.
So, what's he gonna do now?
Is he going?
That passes boards
How soon does that happen? I mean, when did
in
it
the
take?
month, in the next month,
And the next month.
So he's gonna come home in the interim?
for part of it.
So what does he want to do? How does he want to use this? What's he want to do?
I think I don't know, for sure.
Probably has lots of
Probably get a
possibilities.
job to start with.
Well, yeah.
Start making some money and then.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty exciting.
Can he get anything local?
He doesn't want local.
Oh, of course they never do. Does he have a special reason not to want to be local?
Yep.
It's
You,
happening again,
Is
isn't
Jan
it?
Slaughter down there all the time when you go to your
Is this one
community action?
Oh, what, you?
Who?
Jan Slaughter?
Or do you?
Is she in
I don't
attendance?
know yet, but
She's supposed to
might.
community
I
action.
suspect.
Jan Slaughter?
Yeah,
I think so.
basically, she just got a job.
No, she's not. What's that? Cunningham. It was the one from Cedar
Oh,
County.
my goodness, yeah.
She's at Eddie. She got a job with a company that does,
Hey, we should see if you make sure that you can, talk with Julie.
material.
Yeah, maybe during some of this stuff,
Not have time.
She's the editor.
that's, and we can see if you can still go ahead and do that. We're gonna, what we did in Pioneer Cemetery is we took that 2,500 and we just bumped it ahead for what we were gonna do on another cemetery. And then we subtract the 2,500 on that and we'll back it. They'll explain all that. Who? It's down at,
Where?
They call me. You read that, right?
Yeah.
oh, I just explained.
So, gosh, her family is fine. So when they come to visit, who knows when you'll
There'll
get
be
that
some,
return.
The only advantage.
There'll be some,
the only advantage to
pretty heavyweight responses this week.
and faster.
Be good. We'll make you all smile.
Okay.
Because you can go
Or do
direct.
that.
Get our cities down there. But you can't go direct out there. You gotta
Phil is
Chicago
trying to
or
go to
Troy.
state college.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you. What do you do?
I actually had 2 people,
Because you either gotta.
possibly 3 in addition to me,
Yeah,
On-
he was up for Kim, come and see if Rob would come in first.
on the,
The cheapest one usually is going.
getting that training. Tim's gonna
Or
just
Pittsburgh,
weep,
well,
openly
Pittsburgh is
weep.
around here.
I couldn't believe it.
Cool.
He did fun in Allentown.
Allentown is where Phil's brother's first
Do you hear?
wife lived.
Yeah, Rob's coming
So
in.
that area somewhat familiar.
Really, huh?
Phil's up at Mechanicsville yet, he's not here, so Rob's gonna come in, we'll take Rob and get Rob
A
on
lot
the
of
way.
stuff that's in the.
Does he do the city of Mechanicsville?
I know, but you know.
Or is he just traveling?
He's just traveling.
Yeah.
Where's he come from? What's his
Florida.
town?
Cora.
We'll be ready.
I don't know why he'd come down that way, but
Yeah.
We'll be here.
unless he come down.
I've
13.
thrown a lot of stuff on him that.
That's a long ways up there. Well, you know, your wife comes from that area.
Car license.
That was the trip
Yeah,
that
from
never
way
ended.
down.
And the driver's license, said one time, it came in, and touched it, and it said one time. And it's hard to do inspections on it. They do inspections, but it's only in contiguous county or contiguous,
Man, that's scary.
communities of that land. The burbs, they like lending the outlying areas, which, that's where. And I said, who knows what he would do if it's inspection, I'm not sure. You gotta be prepared for that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, when we travel south, we try to avoid Atlanta. You never want to drive there. Well, it's bound to happen, you know, sooner or later. I wish Iowa could be the drum for all kinds of stuff. Can't she get a
See my hunters?
Why can't we have?
Oh, my
She got one within an hour.
Probably get on.
No problem.
Yeah. Adam and Austin and Abby hunting last weekend. They got a deer the first hour.
No,
Saturday.
my shopping bag.
Well, I've done shopping Saturday. Now, whether you're on the
Yeah.
list, I don't know.
You're
Oh,
done?
yeah,
I'm
they-
done.
Oh, that's
okay.
cool.
He wouldn't even be doing it except
I
they
took-
wanted to.
We
He
had
used to
an
hunt all the
event
time
that
and
got
he's kinda giving it up.
canceled Saturday and opened the calendar up. My wife started right away, okay, we're gonna do this, and this, and I'm like, I'm going shopping and I'll be back by
I'll
5.
bet you didn't say that.
I did.
Yeah.
You got that.
Rob, we have approved Corey's wage thing already, so that's taken care of.
Okay,
The
thank
next
you.
thing is you got our department transportation right-of-way agreement for primary road projects.
Yeah, this is kind of a first for me as well. So I talked to the DOT. This is an agreement, basically, they're gonna, long story short is this, we've been working with the DOT on the Highway 30 bypass. We've talked about, of course, we've had numerous discussions on an overpass, multiple overpasses, frontage road, things of that nature. So they're proceeding as we discussed with that frontage road from Charles Avenue, staying as close as they can, but still do the design, stay within design guidelines, to the Highway 30, and putting that, I call it a frontage road from Charles over to Adams. They have the one overpass, they'll have their tie-in points. And what this basically just agrees that, and I can read it to you verbatim if you'd like, but essentially that we've been working together and agree to work together. They're gonna act and purchase all the right-of-way in regards to this project, and of course at the end, when it's officially our road, then we'll handle the paperwork to make it that way. It's a formal right-of-way agreement for primary road project, and it talks about DOT will design, let, inspect, construct the following described project: Mount Vernon, Lisbon bypass from west of Wilcox in Lynn County, east of Charles Avenue in Cedar County. Talks about the permits, coordination utilities, general permit, this typical, nothing in this agreement should make it illegal, things of that nature. So basically we're signing off saying we agree with the project. Basically you go ahead and act to get this right away secured, and then eventually obviously it's going to come back up. But that's not said in here, this just says we're working together, and you can, if you'd like to review it, you're more than welcome to do.
So we need action to accept that agreement?
Yes.
Have you had the county attorney look at it at all? Is there any
I did
reason
not
to?
on this one. They
Pretty
said this is their,
standard, so-
yeah, if this was the actual final,
Mhm.
okay, we're gonna transfer you, that's what I was afraid when I first saw the cover letter. I was reading the first piece, I'm like, whoa, how can they be to this point already? But there's gonna be some point where we're gonna have a discussion about the existing Highway 30, the condition of it, what's gonna happen, are they gonna rubblize it, or are we gonna have them remove some of that? I'm not prepared for that part. This is just strictly right away. That's why I bring it to you today.
Okay, so we need a motion to accept the agreement for the primary road project.
Would you approve?
Okay, the motion's been made by Ellerhoff. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Bell. Any discussion? Any more discussion?
So it doesn't, that doesn't lock us into what plans we agree with or not agree with totally?
Not completely. We're just basically working through the process of, to my understanding, we pretty much acknowledge you want this frontage road. We've been communicating with them on the one original, the overpass over Adams, the interchange west of there, obviously, versus, there was talk for a while there about them moving it, but they are getting pretty detailed as far as getting locked in there. So if there is a point where you want to change or want me to have them come and present to you again, I can ask them that too. It'd be important to get in the front side of that, of course, and wait too long. But yeah, we still have discussion points. I just got an email, I don't know, about a month ago about access points on that frontage road, and I gave them some points on that, and they took them, readjusted some, brought it back. So yeah, I can have them if you'd
Bottom
like
line
to.
is, we have not been silent, nor have you, during the process, so they know how we feel already.
Right.
Ultimately, they're gonna do what they wanna do anyway,
Right.
so.
We just wanna make sure we keep our interest, like
Right.
that frontage road, the paving of the frontage road is probably a perfect example. They wanted to just have that as gravel, and I told them, and we discussed that too. Hey, the traffic count you're saying are gonna be on this, and your projection the first day you open, it's already gonna exceed 95% of my gravel roads as traffic counts. It's not an option. They took it back, they had their discussion, it's come back, they said, yeah, we'll have that as a paved surface too.
Any more discussion? Roll call. Ellerhoff.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Kaufman. Aye. Gal.
Aye.
Dearborn, aye.
And I'll carry it for test it later. Ooh. Excuse me. Need some sun. It just.
There you go.
Why don't you put the dates in there?
Sure.
Okay, and your next one is the Highway Department of Transportation Federal Aid Agreement.
This is for our 210th Street Bridge Replacement Project just east of Monroe, just northeast of town here. Alex is currently designing that one pretty heavily. It looks like it's going to actually be obviously very similar to what you see on Highway 30. It's a slab bridge. We have the grade to the west just like to deal with. It just won't be as drastic as what we're dealing with on 205th. And the sag to the east, we'll have to work with that too. Right now, preliminary, we're looking at about 130-foot continuous slab. So it's working well. We're moving forward. So there's an existing pony truss there that's severely embargoed that we're looking to get rid of. So this is our standard 80-20 agreement that we have on these bridge funds. Again, federal aid would be our OS, so this will be paid out of our local, and then we'll have to have it reimbursed to us. So other than that, it's your standard boilerplate, 210th Street over Sugar Creek. The preliminary estimated cost at this point is $350,000. That's just what's in our 5-year program. We'll see when I do the estimate, and we may have to amend our tip, but this is good timing because it's another reason Alex is working on it right now. If we get to a point where we think we need to up that, when I do the 5-year program here in a couple months, if I change that dollar amount in there, essentially it'll trickle down into this. They still pay 80% of the actual let cost. Where the trick has come in, again, with the feds want estimating closer. Well, this is done sometimes 5, 6, 7 years ahead, and you actually get to the project, we use the current cost, what we've been getting for projects and whatnot, and get more realistic. So there's a percentage there they want us to be within. So worst case, we'd have to amend our tip if it's beyond a certain percentage, which I think it's going to should be right around 400,000, between this number and 400,000, because it is a little bit bigger because of the grade than I anticipated. I was thinking we're going to be in about a 90 to 100 foot slab. So, but yeah, so 100 or 80-20, and we'll have another one of these for the Charles Avenue structure here because we submitted the concept statement as well.
Move to approve.
Okay, the motion been made by Val. Is there a second motion?
Second.
Second by Gal. Any more discussion? Roll call. Val.
Aye.
Gal.
Aye.
Hello.
Aye.
Kaufman. Aye. David, aye.
I'll get you the final when they get them back. Thank you. How are you? Speaking of the DOT. You'll bring these back with you?
See on the Highway 30 project?
Which one?
No, he's talking about the drainage district, the bypass, the right-of-way agreement. I have also for you 2 utility permits with Alliant Energy. Technically, this Iowa Interstate Power and Light. First one's on Charles Avenue from 310th Street South. These are both rebuilds. $100 fee would apply to both. And the other is on Plato Road. I assume you want to do them separate, but the other one's Plato Road from Plato Road and Charles east in that span. We did have them move some poles that they had originally staked. They do have a newer technician or design in this. So we had a little discussion on how we'd like to do things here. But they did move them to where we wanted to, and things are in order.
So you want to take them separate then, Rob?
Typically that's how we do it, since they're different fees.
So the first one is on 310th Street?
Yep. 310th and Charles.
Okay. Motion been made by Kaufman. Is there a second that motion?
Second.
Second by Ellerhoff. Roll call. Kaufman.
Aye.
Ellerhoff.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Gal.
Aye.
David, aye. Second one is on
Move to
Plato
approve.
Road.
Move to approve that.
Okay, the motion been made by Bell. Is there a second that motion?
Second.
Second by Gal. Roll call. Bell.
Aye.
Gal.
Aye.
Ellerhoff.
Aye.
Kaufman.
Aye.
Gilbert, aye.
They're a little thicker, so.
Yes.
For each voucher, yeah, they want to submit electronic and have me print them out. That's the latest thing they've been trying to do. Utility companies. I'm like, no, I want 4 hard copies sent to me because there's no sense wasting my paper.
What company are these with?
What's that?
What company are you doing?
Alliant Energy, Iowa. They're also put down Interstate Power and Lighting. 205th, again, I'm still waiting for it to freeze up. It's the one end, I went out there last week. I just hate to have it open at this point when you have the soft conditions we have. Obviously, you understand that fresh grade and wet thaw, lightly freeze, wet thaw, it's in rain. So I'm hoping it'll be after Christmas next week. Hopefully I'll get it back open again.
Thank you.
The locals have been very cooperative. They understand. Obviously we don't. And again, next spring the dirt contractor is going to have to come back to do a bunch of finish work. But the road is rocked, but when we get the grass to grow and stuff, we took a bunch of before pictures, and I want to go back to the same spots and do after, because that project really is transformed quite a bit different from what it was originally. I think it turned out very nice. We started brush cutting heavily the last couple of weeks too. So we've been aggressive with that, which the last couple of years with the weather hasn't been cooperative, so it's hoping we'll catch back up this year. And then we had December 16th, letting was held for our Y14 structure, box culvert just east of the quarry, west of Washington. We did get 3 bidders, and this is as read, of course. Nothing's formalized till we have a contract, but as read was $341,432.70 by Jim Schrader Construction. And then we had Chick-fil-A excavating at $368,074 and Taylor Construction at $437. And our estimate was $343. So that's right within the ballpark, so that's good. And again, that's another 80-20 federal aid project, which given the current situation with embargo bridges on that stretch of road, this will be a really good one to get out of the way. And I'll talk to you more after the new year, but I have been progressing with property acquisition too, and I'll again talk to you more about that when I get back. And then we'll have to talk some budget things too, as far as some ideas with rural services and my budget. I've been doing it, trying to get ahead of it a little bit this year, and I'll discuss that again with you after the new year. So, yeah, thank you. If something comes up, let me know.
Okay.
And last but not least, I'm planning on being gone the next week. Need something, still call me. I can still deal with things, but I'm hoping to be in Ottawa, but depends on the child and the basketball coach. So we may be back, but right now it's intent I won't be back till after the new year. So that being said, Letty, thank you for your service to the board. You too. You know my number. I'm always around.
I'll keep it in my phone. I'm not giving up your number.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.